What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Black Butler, Season 5, Episode 3. So in this episode, Sebastian sees all these like boils like forming on his body, and him crying. He's a demon, so he's a little weirded out by why that's happening because he shouldn't be feeling emotion. Then he runs back towards Seal and sees him having boils on him. So he basically rushes Seal back to Sullivan's mansion. Then Sullivan's uh has both of them undress and go into like this cauldron to like go through the purification ritual. Basically, once the ritual's done, Seal, like, we see a flashback of his time when he was held captive by that cult. See, like, one of the victims had died, basically, where his captor said that the nobles were too rough with the kid. I mean, yeah, I mean, people who've read or watched Black Butler know what happened to Seal. They know a large portion of it. They know what kind of people kidnapped Seal. Then we see like Seal's wondering, am I gonna? And he's wondering if he's gonna end up like that. Then we hear a voice, a hand holds Seal's, saying like, "I got you" and all that. Now, people who are aware of the certain spoilers in the manga know who that is, or at least have a good idea who that is. I'm not gonna say, but it is an important character. So Seals, and then like I guess the kid's taken away. Then we see the kid get stabbed. And, like basically all I will say is that it's very dark what goes on and how it leads into like the rest of the series like after this arc. And so when Seal wakes up, he's blind, he can't see, he thinks it's dark, which scares him because of his time like held captive by that cult. And so the only person he's willing to be around is Finian because Finian's basically a kid, while the rest are like adults. So he doesn't want to be near any adults. Sebastian, since he was ordered to not touch Seal, he follows his orders, and so basically he asks for Sullivan to help Seal recover, and Sullivan agrees on the condition that while Seal's recovering, Sebastian acts as her butler. So we're gonna see what we are gonna see some interesting stuff with Sebastian and you basically how Sullivan reacts to, because we know how Sullivan's acts so far. Basically she's a little girl. Like, she's a little girl. Now she has a very dirty mind. Now hopefully she does. I have not read the manga. I know a little bit of the story, but hopefully she does not. Considering her actions the previous episode, there is a possibility that she makes some. I hope she does not try to make any bad demands. Like, no, look, that Black Butler does get a little dirty, but like, it ain't gonna. It should not go that far. I don't think that's gonna happen. And we'll see like how Wolfram reacts to Sebastian basically being one hell of a butler. And so, yeah, it's funny, Sullivan, Sullivan's main goal, I think, is to learn more about the outside world. So, what we're probably going to see is her asking Sebastian to tell her more about the outside world. And with all these female servants who are helping Sebastian and Wolfram take care of Sullivan, we're gonna see more about that, like how they all react to Sebastian. Like, I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. I really like this episode. The animation and music are very good. And I'm sure it's gonna be very funny what happens like in later episodes, like what happens to Seal, like what more from his past is gonna be revealed. I could like the whole demon, like the demon contract between Sebastian and Seal, could that be affecting like Sebastian, like could that be why Sebastian is feeling those same symptoms as Seal? Is that whatever the heck happened to Seal, the contract between him and Sebastian, could that have caused the disease or curse whatever to pass from Seal to Sebastian, therefore infecting Sebastian? Which is very possible. Like I said, I've not read the manga, so I don't know how true that is, but it could be the case. Could be the case, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not gonna act like I know everything. If But I think this was a very good episode. I really look forward to next week's. Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers Episode 3. So in this one, Sen finally catches up with Unica and reveals to her that he's a gear. She reacts like not well. Then like something happens, like everyone sees Sen, they're like, crap, he's a gear. And like, there's still some tensions between humans and gears. And then like a Felt appears, she's very hyper, and and then Biken, has a fight, I think that's how the name's pronounced. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too familiar with Guilty Gear. I've never gotten into that, that video game series, so there is a lot I don't know about Guilty Gear, which, you know, it probably would help if when it comes to this series, but whatever. And it's definitely the best of the three. I mean, the Felt seemed to be interesting. Let's see, Biken seemed to be interesting. So Biken and Felt, they seem to be interesting. Sin seems to be an idealistic retard. He's like, oh, you must have a reason for doing like, dude, she wants to wipe out all the gears. Yeah, she has a reason. No duh, Sherlock. But it's like you still have to fight her and, you know, prevent like a lot of deaths. Like you do have to like grow a pair and win the fight. And the animation still sucks. It does not grow like this 3D is not growing on me. It's not like with Chainsaw Man, where Chainsaw Man, it's 3D. While I still have plenty of problems with it, its 3D did grow on me. But in this series, the 3D does not grow on me. And I don't know if that'll change. But it did. But this episode was an improvement compared to the previous two. I will say that. Like there is improvement across each episode from one episode to the next. And who knows? Maybe by the time we get to the end of this core, or this season, because I could see this being like just a 12 or 13 episode thing. I don't think it's going to be two cores, at least as far as I'm aware of. As far as I'm aware of, I don't know anything about it being two cores. And I think this show, like, I mean, it's banking off the name of Guilty Gear. That's what it's doing. It's banking off Guilty Gear, banking off the old characters, and that's it. It can't stand like this. This can't. This is not able to stand on its own. It's not. Like, if it wasn't for the Guilty Gear name, this would not be doing well in the rankings. I mean, it's just a fact. It's an unfortunate fact because it's not a good series. And I've heard of Guilty Gear. I've never played it, but I was like, okay, this might be interesting. Yeah, that, that did not happen. That's not happened, and I'm hoping like there is improvement. And there has been improvement across each season, like each episode, and I think this could be a good this could be good. Who knows? This could improve and just end up being one like a sleeper hit, but you know, who knows? Yeah, so a felt Valentine appears. As I said, she's very hyper. She makes a decent appearance. Who knows what happens? And she seems to be interesting. Biking seems to be interesting. So we have some interesting characters, but I don't know if the execution is gonna fulfill the interest. Like at best, this episode's mid. At best, like it's not good. It's not like extremely bad, but it's not something to write home about. Like you know, I mean, it's forgettable. Like it's hard to remember what all's happened in each episode because it's so forgettable. Like compared to like some of the other anime from this season, it's so hard to remember what happened to this because it's like I don't care. Now I have not played Guilty Gear. Could that play into it some? Yeah, sure, maybe. But I mean, like I saw the Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie before I even watched the first watched the first season or read the manga. I still was able to care about the characters despite that. I was still able to care about Tanjiro, Nezuko, Inosuke, and Zenitsu and Rengoku despite not having watched a single episode of the anime. My first entry Demon Slayer was the Mugen Train movie, which was fantastic. It should have won Best Picture. It should have won Best Picture, by the way. But anyway, but I've not seen the show before or read the manga. I did end up later reading the entire manga and watching the anime, and that's not the point. But I was able to care about the characters despite that. Even though I was confused by some of the stuff, I was still interested. This is not even interesting me. I'm confused by a lot of some of the characters, but it's like it's not even interesting me. Like it, I think that's a failure on the show's part. Like you have to interest the viewer. Like this is based on a fighting game series. You have to interest people. You have to market the fighting game. So as you have for an adaptation, you have to both stand on it has to both stand on its own and market the source material, which is something anime historically does well. It historically does very well at marketing the source material as well as standing on its own. That is one thing that helps anime stand out compared to Hollywood. But this show, it's not good. It's not boring. It's like, oh, everyone's freaking bulky. Um, okay, cool character designs. I was like, yeah, all the male characters have like muscles the size of of someone's head, and all the women have most of the women have large breasts. But I'm like, okay, that's a style. You gotta have substance. there is no substance in this show. Like the image you see in this slide, that's like 2D art, and it looks freaking better than anything in the show. Like, it, I'll try and make it through the entire season, but I don't have high hopes for it. Yaiba, episode 3. So in this one, Onimaru, having gained the power of the Devil Wind Sword, attacks Yaiba at the high school and easily beats him. Now that he has like demon powers and looks like an Oni, he basically easily defeats Yaiba. Like Yaiba's barely surviving. The school's damaged. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna do well for Onimaru's reputation. And then basically, like, so Yaiba learns about the Raijinkin or Thunder God sword, and then so he and Saga, well, Yaiba, since Saga actually knows where it is, you know, basically Yaiba ties her up to the tiger and basically they head to they head to Mount Tengu to find this guy named Miyamoto, who they're told about by Yaiba's father Kinjiro that Miyamoto is like a has the Thunder God sword. And so basically, like they head there where they meet Musashi Miyamoto, who's like a famous like swordsman. Like Sokka even knows who he is when she learns the full hears his full name. And a lot of basically Sokka tries to grab the sword first. She's electrocuted because she's unworthy of it. Then Yaiba just picks it up, pulls it out of the ground, picks it up. He's like, "Hey, I got it." Musashi, Miyamoto's like, "Frick, I've been trying forever to." He's like, "Is this kid the samurai I've been waiting for 400 years for?" And so, like, basically, Musashi decides to take Yaiba as his apprentice. So we're about to start the training, and then Onimaru becomes aware about the Raijinkin's like appearance, and so so basically, they're setting up, big battle coming between them, and when with all the fights that are about to happen, like it's gonna be like I think it's gonna be a pretty good fight. Like train. Of course, we have a train arc. It's a shonen anime. Of course, there's a training arc, and then basically like we're gonna like it's gonna be looks like it's gonna be a cool fight. Looks like there's probably some funny stuff like Miyamoto. For what I've looked up about the character, it looks like he's gonna have some like Master Roshi like tendencies at times, which makes sense. I mean, look, every anime made back in the day in that time period, like in the 90s, was every old dude was basically Roshi. Like every anime from the 80s and 90s, they all acted like Roshi, both the good ways and the bad ways. I mean, that was the time period. So, we're gonna see him act like that. It's probably gonna be very funny. It's it's gonna be pretty interesting. I think like it will be a I think it's gonna be an interesting train arc. As far as the episode goes, I think this was a very good episode. It was this was fantastic. I really liked it. I thought the fight in the beginning between Yaiba and Onimaru was cool. I liked how all that they did. Like I think this was a great episode. This is Yaiba has become a big hit across the. I think it's gonna be a. I don't know how high its ratings are. I don't know how to find the numbers of that. But if it's not a big hit, it should be because this is a fantastic anime. This I think will after 3 episodes, I think it's safe to say there's a very good chance this will win Best New Series at next year's Anime Awards, like for all the 2025 shows. I think it's safe to say this is going to win that. Now, I have to wait to see what happens at the end of this core or at the end of the season, however, whether it's a one core season or two cores, who knows? Because based on how many volumes the manga has, it probably take like 5 cores to do the entire to the to adapt the entire manga. This could be, pretty good series. It could just go straight through since the manga is already done. But I think this show is freaking awesome. Like this is a great show. One of the like I really like this episode. Onimaru is becoming a cool villain, and Yaiba's interactions with like the inner city is still funny. Of course, now we're back towards like kind of what he's used to with like the more like jungle stuff, probably more mystical type things. Samurai stuff, which is more that's more what Yaiba's into, what he's used to. So we'll probably see Sokka have to learn more about like how Yaiba lived. We're probably gonna see more about it, how her basically getting used to that. And that should be funny. And yeah, I think it's a fantastic episode. And I'm really looking forward to next week's. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.